Hi, my name is Sharnice Wallace, and today I want to discuss the initiative and referendum process within Arizona's Constitution. Within Arizona's Constitution, the initiatives and referendums are the most powerful things written. Both parts reflect the progressive movement era. Now, when we talk about the initiatives and referendums, we will probably want to understand what these two words mean. The initiative is where citizens can propose new laws or constitutional amendments. This means they are able to write a proposed law, get the required number of valid petition signatures, and if the majority votes yes, then this now becomes the law. Now, when discussing the initiatives, there are two different types. There's the statutory initiative, and this is where a new law is created. Then there is the constitutional initiative, and this is what amends the state constitution. Now, when discussing the referendum, this is where voters can approve or reject the laws that are passed by the state legislature. There are two different types of referendums. There's the legislative referendum, where the legislative proposes a law or an amendment to voters for approval. Then there's what we call a popular referendum. This is where citizens get signatures to challenge a law that was recently passed. Now, for this one, if not enough signatures are collected, then this law is now put on hold, and this leads to a statewide vote, which means all the citizens are able to vote on this law. Now, let's move on to how your initiatives and referendums are created within Arizona's Constitution. The first thing is your initiative creation. The first thing that's going to happen is you're going to draft an initiative, and this is done by the citizens. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to submit this initiative for review. This this is going to be filed by the Secretary of State, and it must include a 100-word summary. The next thing that's going to happen is the citizens are going to now collect signatures that they need for this process. After all the signatures are collected, the citizens are now going to turn in their petition. This is where the state has to verify every signature that is collected in order to move forward in the process. After the petitions are verified and all the signatures are done, you're going to move on to the initiatives are going to be placed on a ballot. After it is placed on a ballot, if enough voters vote yes for it, it now becomes a law. Now, let's move on to our referendum creation. Now, like we said before, your referendums have two different types. The first one is your legislative referendum. And like we said, when a bill is passed in the legislature, it is then placed on the ballot. When the next general election comes around, which is in November, voters are able to either approve it or reject it. The next one is a popular referendum. The process for this is the legislature, is going to pass a law. If the citizens disagree and want to challenge it, they have to file an official referendum petition with the Secretary of State. After this is done, they then have to collect enough valid voter signatures. The next step is if all the citizens agree, the law is then put on hold, and this is put on hold until the next general election ballot is takes place, which is in November. And then voters get to decide whether they want to keep it or they want to reject it. Now, the next part of our initiative and referendums are looking at the similarities between the two tools. So, when it comes to your initiatives and referendums, both of these tools are direct forms of democracy. Both use petitions, both have voter involvement in it. So, your voters are very much involved in the process in both tools. Both of these tools appear on the ballot when it is time. Both of these tools are protected by Arizona's Constitution. Both of these require public notice, and both support citizen control. Now, when it comes to the differences between the initiatives and referendums, for the initiatives, we all know that initiatives propose new laws. Your referendum approves or rejects the law. Your initiatives can start at any time. Your referendums can only start after a legislator passes the law. For your initiatives, we said it at the beginning, there are two different types of initiatives. Your statutory initiative, that's the law being created, and your constitutional initiative, those are the amendments. For your referendums, there are also two different types. You have your popular referendum, this is the citizen challenge, and you have your legislative referendum, this is your legislative referral. Your initiatives are able to create a new law or amend the state's constitution. Your referendums challenges the law that's passed by the legislature. For your initiatives, petitions are required for all initiatives, and if it is passed, it becomes law. The difference with the referendums is only the popular referendum requires the petitions. And if passed, voters can either reject it or confirm it. This takes us to look at our pros and cons of your initiatives and referendums. For the pro side of your initiatives and referendums, it gives citizens a voice in lawmaking. It increases the accountability of the government. It encourages people to get involved. It allows citizens to act when legislature is slow or refuses. It allows voters to set policies that show the beliefs and needs of the citizens. And it is protected by the state constitution. When we look at the cons of your initiatives and referendums under Arizona's constitution, you have where what can be considered complicated policies that citizens may not understand. So, if a citizen doesn't understand what's going on under the initiative and referendum side of a new law trying to be created, then it's going to skew your results because we don't have an understanding of it. Your campaigns can be funded by wealthy individuals, which can mess up the results. Another con is flexibility is very hazy in discussing the initiative and referendums. And there could be conflicts with other laws. Now, even though both of these tools are used to empower voters, there's always the risk of misinformation, poorly designed laws, and misuse. The last the last part is that these tools are able to support democracy within Arizona's constitution by giving citizens the power to make or reject laws instead of relying on the government. The referendum lets the voters challenge the laws if they oppose it. Direct democracy allows voters to take action when lawmakers refuse to act or if they act too slowly. These tools encourage citizens to step up and actively participate in the government. These tools are meant to support the people and give the people a voice. Thank you for tuning in to my presentation. I hope you learned something new about Arizona's Constitution when referring to the initiatives and referendums. Thank you again.